Episode 1 is the background, but it gets juicy, but not as juicy as episode 2. So in episode 2, we meet Jeffrey, and Jeffrey is talking about his mom. So his mom was a widower, and she didn't like to date, but one day her friend introduced her to AOL. So you know this is back in the day, and she met Ralph. It's Ralph with his bootleg ass ponytail, and that's his mom. So she started speaking to Ralph, and they started speaking together for a year. Then he immigrated from Germany to the US. They got married shortly after, but not long after that, there was a domestic issue, and he threw her head and slammed her on her neck, and then they separated. According to Jeffrey, which is Nan, that's the lady I just showed you, that's his mom's name, Nan. According to Jeffrey, she went on the Jerry Springer show to, I guess, get him back, which is peculiar. And again, I don't want to judge because domestic violence is like very serious. But I just wanted to know why she wanted to go back after, you know, he threw you on your neck in front of your son and you had a son. But again, I'm not really in a space to judge no one. So his mother believed that Ralph had been deported back to Germany and the show was going to pay for him to come back to America. Like Keke Palmer said, the gag is, I think he was already in America with his new shorty. And they end up embarrassing her on the Jerry Springer show. And the worst thing about it is, like, Jerry Springer in this episode, he was like, oh, you won't let her disrespect you? They were trying to, like, rile Nan up. And Nan was like, I'm leaving. There's also a clip that I caught that was like, okay, that's fine. So basically, she had no money, and then the producers, they weren't trying to even give her money. They were trying to coax her to come back on stage. She was like, no, I'm not going to be disrespected, which I feel like is real nasty and disrespectful, and Jerry Springer should be ashamed. He should be rolling his grave for that. I know he regretted it, but at the end of the day, it's still fucked up. So she walked out. She was crying on a bench. She was like walking around, didn't have no money. She's in Chicago, and then somebody gave her money to go back home. 2 months later, she got back together with Ralph and she put down a deposit on a house. And then there was a domestic violence thing that happened. But not only did he slam her on her neck again, he kicked her out of her own house. So she was staying in the car with her son. So they end up going to court. This is her lawyer, and she won the case. She got sole ownership of the house and a restraining order against Ralph. And now the lawyer in the documentary states that he was calm. He walked away. I guess he had ended up going into a bar. And the episode that they all were on, the wife, the new girlfriend or wife or whatever, Ralph and Nan, was on television, and he just got mad and because he was already drunk and he was already telling people that he was going to unalive her.